Today we're talking about why graphics matter. So, a couple of months ago, there was this game called Cyberpunk 2077. Everybody was super excited for it. Everybody's like, oh my god, this is going to be the greatest game of all time. It's going to be basically like the new Skyrim. Everybody's going to be playing it. And, oh yeah, there were copyright issues before the game came out because the developers didn't want anything to leak to come out. But on December 10th, we all found out the truth about Cyberpunk 2077. I actually got the game so I could see how bad it truly was, and the game is garbage. I'm going to tell you this: the game is garbage. It is terrible. Okay, they even have a list of known bugs and launch issues. Okay, known bugs and launch issues, and the game is still not fixed. Okay, so here is the graphical issues. Here. This is what I saw in the game. The missing textures in the game. Missing textures in the game. I think this is why they were trying. This is why they were taking down all the leaks that had to do with this game because they didn't want to admit that this game was a pile of doo doo. Here, okay, a pile of doo doo, a pile of trash. Okay, here, okay. I'm gonna tell you some of the things that happened. At the beginning of the game, like the first 10 minutes, you walk up to this character in the game, and the character has freaking missing textures on her face. Yep, missing textures, and once you walk up to her face, it's actually rendered. Another problem with the game is another part of the game, there was a literal part of a bridge in that road. So I crashed into the bridge, and it took me 4 minutes to get out of the bridge. It took me 4 minutes to get out of a bridge that I crashed into because the game's graphics did not render. The game's graphics did not render. And people say, graphics don't matter. Graphics don't matter, okay? I'm sorry, but a game like this, according to you guys, if graphics did not matter, is acceptable. And the graphics in this game are just not really acceptable. Okay, a game needs to be fully functioning on one. This is not the only game that suffered these issues. We all know there are tons of games that came out and have suffered launch issues and launch bugs. Here's another one. Another one. We also have Mass Effect Andromeda. Okay, Mass Effect Andromeda is one of the worst games, when it came to this. Mass Effect Andromeda was another game. Again, I don't trust anything made by EA. I knew that game was gonna be bad, Mass Effect Andromeda, but people were like, oh my god, but it's made by BioWare. BioWare is so amazing. We all know EA lost them. We all know EA is the reason why this game sucked. Okay, but this is Mass Effect Andromeda. Okay, Mass Effect Andromeda, you have all of these weird and just ugly looking graphics, that were rust. And they have comparisons between Mass Effect 2007 and Mass Effect Andromeda. Original Mass Effect's graphics look much better than Andromeda's weird, rust out graphics. Okay, and then we have the missing textures. We have characters that in the games. Okay, and missing textures. We have all of this stuff. This is supposedly good graphics. Missing ground texture. Okay, but we're not supposed to judge graphics according to the internet. We're not supposed to judge a game based off its graphics. Okay, a missing ground texture. Okay, is bad graphics. Okay, same thing with Cyberpunk's missing face textures. Okay, and objects not loading into the game, or or other graphical issues with Cyberpunk 2077. Okay, missing ground textures in Mass Effect Andromeda. Okay, missing ground textures in Mass Effect Andromeda. Okay, this is another AAA big budget game, and we can look up another game. It came out in 1997 Bubsy 3D. We all know the infamous Bubsy 3D. The infamous Bubsy 3D. Okay, Bubsy 3D. Can't, and people say, oh, but these don't work. This looks like an alpha of a game. People are like, oh, but it came on the PlayStation era. The graphics don't look that bad. But you heard that Crash Bandicoot came out before Bubsy 3D. Mario 64 revolutionized 3D games, came out before Bubsy 3D. Okay, this is Bubsy 3D, guys. Okay, you're telling me you saw Zard's games based off the graphics? Okay, and Bubsy 3D also has graphical issues and text issues. Mario 64 had these issues to a lesser extent, but Mario 64 they didn't have a long development time as well, but they were also developing a game. They were also developing for a game console as well. They were developing alongside the N64, and they were constantly changing and adding things to Mario 64. Bubsy 3D is another game that looks like they rushed it out. Oh, you know what? Everybody likes Mario 64, so let's bring out Bubsy 3D. And you have all these weird, ugly, out of place looking graphics. You have these just ugly looking graphics, these ugly looking characters, okay? And you're not supposed to judge a game based off its graphics, okay? And I'm not saying, oh yeah, you should go to some random indie game and say the game looked horrible. Okay, this is Bubsy 3D, and then we can use the same example for and you have this games that just look ugly. Okay, games that just look ugly. Just look at Pokemon Sword and Shield. Yes, we all know. People are like, but don't whip on Sword and Shield. Stop whipping on Sword and Shield. These games don't look that bad. Okay. You have this really weird, ugly tree texture that looks just. You also have graphical issues in the game that were never fixed. Let's just compare this to Dragon Quest XI, also on the Switch. Dragon Quest XI looks much better than Pokemon Sword and Shield. Same thing in Yokai Watch 4, but sadly, both of those games sold way less than Pokemon Sword and Shield. Again, this is another AAA game, another big development. This is the tree textures in Sword and Shield here as well. Okay. But at least Pokemon Sword and Shield, unlike Cyberpunk, had missing textures and graphical issues. But again, Cyberpunk was promised to be this big, massive game. And the problem is, this is another game that does not live up to expectations. Okay, this was a modder that took a week of time to change every tree in Sword and Shield. And this is what trees would have sort of looked like. Not like this. Not like this. This looks like a rushed game. Same thing of Cyberpunk and Mass Effect and Bubsy 3D. Sword and Shield's graphics looked rushed. They looked rushed to get the game out to the holiday season. And again, what did Game Freak promise? Like Mass Effect, that's like EA, that's like, Mass Effect Andromeda and Cyberpunk, they promised high quality animations and textures. They promised all this stuff. Same thing with CD Projekt Red. Same thing with EA and BioWare. They promised these high quality textures. Okay, the Breath of the Wild tree, this is a game that was developed for the Wii U, a lower level console. The Wii U is weaker than the Switch, and Breath of the Wild's trees still look better than Sword and Shield. Okay. Yeah, this is the infamous comparison to the Ocarina of Time tree, but this is supposedly a AAA game. Same thing with Cyberpunk with its missing textures, with its textures that don't load. Okay, it's not just Pokemon Sword here. Mass Effect Andromeda, you have ground textures that are literally missing. Literally are missing and not working as well. Okay. And let's look at, I'm just gonna pull up one game. Here, okay, one game. Here, okay, let's look, what games should I look up? What big game? Okay, I'm gonna look up Call of Duty Cold War. Okay, I know a lot of people hate Call of Duty, but Call of Duty Cold War's graphics, okay, there aren't really many people complaining about Call of Duty Cold War's graphics, okay. Same thing of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. No one is complaining about either of those games' graphics. Okay, you know your game is gonna be bad when people are saying your game looks horrible. Okay, your game looks horrible. Cyberpunk is one of those games, Sword and Shield. Okay, but despite that, both of those games still sold relatively well. Pokemon Sword and Shield sold 21 million copies, and Cyberpunk still sold 20 million copies. It sold like 16 million copies as well. So, yeah. Okay, Fallout for 76. We gotta see Fallout 76. We didn't mention Fallout 76 yet. So Fallout 76, okay, graphical issues. Okay, Fallout 76 is another game with graphical issues. Yeah, Fallout 76 also had graphical issues and graphical glitches. Yeah, okay. Yeah, and again, Bethesda is known for weird and ugly and awful graphical issues. Let's look at the infamous Skyrim, mammoth image. You have the infamous mammoth image in Skyrim. The floating mammoth. Which is an infamous image among games. Here, the floating mammoths in the sky. Here. And the floating horse. Those are two very infamous ones. The floating horse and the floating mammoth. But yep, that's basically it about this video. Goodbye.